This anime seems to be getting a lot of hype, so let's check it out.
社長こんなところで
大丈夫だよ。部屋の壁暑いから。
Anyways, episode 1 was a really engaging introduction to the anime. I like the unique use of colors used in this episode. It helps depict Akira's personality very well. You can see the brightness at the start of the episode where he's filled with hope for the future, and the slow change to monotone as he slaves away for 3 years until he eventually becomes free again. Yeah, I know this is some twisted form of freedom, but to Akira this is paradise. It should be pretty obvious, but there's definitely something wrong with Akira's brain. He was showing off an insane case of narcissism with a hint of autism in this. Yes, I get that the 9 to 5 lifestyle is rough, especially in Japan, but he was basically a zombie for 3 years. How can your first reaction be, when seeing a bunch of zombies devour humans all around you, to ask out a girl? She was for the streets as well. You don't want that. And look at the way Akira is happily cycling and pulling off insane parkour to meet her. I guess he really was a rugby player. Nothing about the situation Akira is in should feel good, but this selfish maniac just doesn't care. I can't help but like him for it. After Akira spears his boss into the afterlife and runs away from his crush after realizing how dusty he is, he decides to sleep in and spend the day being a bum. But he can't exactly live out that fantasy just yet because he's run out of beer. The POV then shifts to Akira's neighbors, who are losing their shit over what's going on, as you naturally should. Meanwhile, they just see Akira wiggling his way down the pipe as he completely breaks through immersion. So eventually, Akira gets into this local convenience store where he stumbles upon what's probably a future girlfriend. Straight off the bat, I can see clear parallels between these two. Shizuka does what she needs to do to survive for the future, whereas Akira is only fussed about what he wants to do in the present, which has led to him making a bucket list. I do like the premise of the show a lot. Zom 100 is definitely shaping up to be a unique anime. As this series continues, Akira continues to increase his autistic tendencies by happily texting the homies to see what they're up to. Eventually he's cycling his way down to meet his best friend Kenichiro, but I noticed that Akira has developed since episode 2 after meeting with that girl. He showed some mental ingenuity with how he distracted all those zombies in the area. After all that business was out of the way, Akira and his friend needed to escape, so Akira continues on with his death-defying parkour. Meanwhile, Kenichiro starts imitating that one scene from Despicable Me and follows it up with a great impression of Jack Horner from Puss in Boots 2. How do you expect me to feel sad for you when you're making easy money, getting acknowledged and dating models? But in all seriousness, I think Kenichiro made the right choice in not being a comedian because he sucks. If stripping till you're naked is your best material, then you need to move to the red light district. I'm really enjoying how unpredictable these Zom 100 episodes are. Every episode spirals out into some hilarious situation, such as in episode 4 where a simple trip to get a new TV turns into an opportunity for Akira to rizz up some girls, which he of course messes up completely. Kenichiro, on the other hand, is too busy doing another girl, but he won't be happy for long because that girl that he just did instantly gets turned into a zombie right before his eyes. That's such a bizarre scenario to picture. I would never want to be in that situation. This show continues to give me mixed signals. Akira has a heartfelt moment with a girl who unfortunately becomes a zombie, but then instantly after such a sad moment, the mood switches instantly when Kenichiro is dragging around a TV. The ending of episode 4 was amazing though. I think I relate a lot to it, and I'm sure a lot of you guys do as well. This is where Akira writes on his bucket list that he wants to remember his childhood dream, and I understand it. I don't even remember my own childhood dream, so I'm very excited to see what Akira's real dream is as the series continues. Okay, keep in mind I said that I'm excited to see what Akira's childhood dream is before I watched episode 5. Because right at the start of the episode, his dream gets revealed and I can't be bothered to change up my script. However, his dream is respectable, and considering the current situation Japan is in, and that his dream is only going to make this show more interesting, that's a very good idea. He wants to become a superhero, and he's even made his own superhero suit. At the moment, it doesn't look like anything special, but I wonder if in the future Akira will have a top tier costume designed for him. I would love to see that. Also, Shizuka appears on the show again and starts to cook the life out of Akira. And if you thought zombies weren't bad enough, then you haven't seen shock zombies. The threat levels have increased like crazy this episode, so Akira and the gang aren't really sure what to do in this situation, so they make a run for now. But for some reason a psycho girl decides to grab Shizuka and trap her for literally no reason. Everyone could have gotten to temporary safety, but he just sabotages her. That was insanely ridiculous. Like, there was no reason for that to happen at all. Akira of course decides to get involved because he's a hero now, and this leads into a pretty goated fight. 2 humans versus a shark zombie. While I was watching the fight unfold, I noticed a cursed version of Dory from Finding Nemo get completely demolished. She flew straight into a wall. There's no way I was the only one who thought of Dory as I watched this scene. Anyways, Akira and Kenichiro are basically buying time for Shizuka to solve her plan. Kenichiro really needs to let go of this naked gag role. I like him as a character, you know, but he needs new material because this is how I react whenever I see him try to act funny right now.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Episode 5 was the best Zom 100 episode yet so far. That electric shock punch that Akira gave and the build up behind it, it was really hype and emotional. Throughout this episode, I've noticed lots of ideologies about what it means to be a superhero being thrown about, and it's really giving me that One Punch Man vibe, which I really like. When I think of an ideal hero, I think of Saitama. I think he's proven himself to be the perfect superhero physically and mentally, because his ideology on the topic of what it means to be a hero sounds right on the money. Whereas Akira also has the right idea about what it means to be a superhero, but he's a lot more flawed mentally than Saitama, so I wouldn't call Akira a perfect superhero just yet. I think we can all agree that Zom 100 has taught us some valuable lessons so far. You should put more effort into your dreams to make them become a reality, or else you might live your life with many regrets. I'm sure everyone can relate to this anime to some degree, whether you're in school or you work. But wishing for your life to get better isn't a valid solution. You need to take action and make your life better. I'm not really sure what anime I should make a video on next, since this season is pretty dry, so feel free to drop a recommendation and I'll see you all in the next video.